comfortable. I thought, isn't that a hoe that
how's everybody
the number
doing?
one rapper in the world can be laid up in the hospital?
So I put a little bit of energy. They wanted me to talk about love,
Part of that is indicative to
but
all
as we started going, Scorpio, welcome back. Prosperity lies ahead. New moon in Taurus, and work through your fears. New moon in Scorpio. So when they wanted me to talk about love, because this is, let's just talk about it. It is about Puffy, and I'm gonna leave it at that. What people don't understand is they tell us what we want to hear or what they think we're gonna believe. There's so many things that are happening right now, the shift, and the people aren't really understanding it, truthfully. They turned around and what was it yesterday? I don't have TikTok or anything like that because that's another. I'm not gonna get into a lot of things because I want to keep this very precise and very clear about certain things. The reason why they wanted me to talk about love is because you truly can't love anyone, as we know, if we've been on this journey, without loving ourselves. And a lot of people don't. They say they do, and truly they don't. It took me a lot of years to understand this. What's happening with the big wigs? Well, just like what did they say? TikTok, I think it was. I was watching this another creator that is over DC. There was not too much on the news about what was coming into the atmosphere. There's so many things it could have been, but everybody was speculating. Pretty much the thing that was on the news was it was a jet that crashed and burned by Washington D.C., up by New York and all that. Well, truthfully, I mean, we're not alone. People just take it whatever way you want to. But I'm gonna break some things down. It's funny that Kim is up on up there because there shouldn't be a what is it? A statue on rape, molestation. There shouldn't be nothing like that. As far as being able to charge somebody, it's always to benefit somebody. Don't forget to vote. You know, people all have their opinions. Do your own research on that part, okay? I was watching same creator. They're saying about nobody's ever said about Trump's neck. They're saying about Kamala's neck. People want to reptilians. Yeah, I mean it is what it is. Just like this, they told us throughout her years. Look at V, the series. They said it back in the '80s. Everything that, again, that's there. They told us about it. It slips through the cracks because we're awakened in that part. So I want to speak on Diddy because of love. But we're gonna go back and we're gonna see people still support. You know what? He brought his old lawyer back because he don't like to hear what the lawyers are telling him. He's delusional. The man pretty much has forgotten what he has done to the point that he doesn't even remember about the interviews. As I started watching a lot of the interviews and going back, it's all right there in front of your faces. And still support, that's fine. I mean, again, once we get down to the bottom line, to the nitty gritty of everything, then you'll understand it. It's not about hate. It's about getting people help, truly. Because when you think about it, it goes back to a child. So I'm going to explain it like this. A lot of men have not came out because it's embarrassing. And and I'm gonna say it's embarrassing for a man to come out so that he was sexually assaulted, that he was raped, or whatever it was. And then people can be manipulated in any ways. If you go back, I was looking at they're saying something about Diddy. There's so many things. You go back, and I mean years. The thing is, they never thought the internet would be the way it is now. So that is why the people are coming out and speaking about certain things. And they're saying, I think they were saying what Diddy's trying to, wants that video taken out. They're gonna hit Cassie. They're gonna when she's understand whoever the witnesses are. Let's just say that, because I don't believe they came out. I'm not too sure on that, so I'm not gonna speak on too many things that I don't know about. So we're gonna say allegedly crimes. But I do a lot of channeling when I'm seeing things. That's why past on loved ones they're coming to get justice, and that's what people are not understanding. They want to. So I'm gonna break it down like this. I seen some pictures of Puffy, had earrings in his, I think it was a yearbook, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start putting the videos that I'm talking about in my community page, so you can go and look at them. Because his children, I was looking at his children. The Combs, I guess, is one of the two brothers. The one is Ken Porter's or LB Shore's son. It looks like the other brother is LB Shore's too. But they had so many things that people can sleep around. They can do whatever they want. So we're not going to talk about the freak off. We're not going to talk about none of that stuff, because that does not make a person guilty. Okay? So it just looks like it's not his child. So, but we're going to go back to when he was a child, because his father was murdered way when he was, I think it was like 2 years old. So his mother was left to survive and take care of Diddy. Just like my mother, in the sense, I seen a lot of things. See, Diddy's only 4 years older than me, so myself, I grew up in a rough side of town. Again, that did not make anything. Again, when you walk with the Lord, I walk with the Lord my whole life. I love to go to church, and I'm not gonna say Diddy didn't, because we all have the Lord in our life, but it's just like somebody that's racist. That's something that's taught. That's not something that's we just grow up with. We're born and we're a racist. No, just like we're not born and we're just a hateful person, or we're a jealous person, or love. The first love that we have is our mothers. And truly, our mothers love us unconditionally. See, what Diddy saw is Diddy saw his mother being again, no pun intended, she ran a business. So I'm going to be really respectful when I speak on a lot of things right now. That's why I'm not playing too much music, because I really want y'all to understand, to see what's really going on and what is really happening and what is about to take place. See, a lot of people still don't understand it. They want to turn their blind eye. Okay. It's not okay. Because it goes deep, way deep. Because you're talking about ruining people's lives forever. Not ever, because when you get on this journey, it is a healing journey. And again, the heart is the hardest one to heal. So as being a clairvoyant, a person that can channel energies, pass on loved ones, there's certain things, the gifts that we have that God has given us. Now, to go to how Diddy was raised, he's seen his mother, and what he's seen, I've seen a lot too. I mean, my mother, and I'm just going to use myself, because if you don't know, and you're watching readings for a lot of things, understand your energy. But understand a lot of readers, that's why Scorpio, the ancestors had me pick that sign, because Scorpio is death and rebirth. And it is pretty much about Diddy, what he has done. But see, we're not going to just assume somebody's guilty because of what somebody says about him. No. But if you go back and do your research, then you'll get a clear picture of what has happened and how it's been in front of us. But who allows a man that doesn't have a woman around to adopt a young lady, a little girl? I'm going to stay there. Ava Barone. Who allows somebody to do that? See, there's certain things when you get power, it comes with certain responsibilities. Well, when a man sees his mother sleep with men and runs let's just say, a escort service, allegedly, so they're saying, but remember, the industry is very small. No matter where you're at, your city, and you're in a business, let's just say you're a subcontractor, whatever you're in, you know that the industry you're in is very small. Restaurants, whether construction, whether law enforcement, whatever it is, just like the music industry, just like up north, up in New York, you have to go back to when Diddy, pretty much, because it goes beyond Diddy. He was taught something, but he's seen his mother. See, how do you think a lot of men were robbed when they, especially up in New York? Come on, a Bronx. I mean, nobody who's ever seen a Fort Apache Bronx, I think it's called, with Pacino, how it was, all those movies. I mean, come on, crazy up there, because it was culture, pretty much the truth. I mean, Harlem, all those things. Back in the day, drugs tore communities up. Not just in New York, Detroit, Atlanta, DC, Texas. I mean, Cali. But we're speaking on something. So if a man sees his mother sleeping with people, sleeping with men, because I'm going to tell you like this. I've seen my mother. Well, she slept with men in the same room that I was in. See, in the very beginning, I knew my mother loved me, but what we need to understand and go back to the psychological part of everything. When you see certain things, as Diddy, no telling what he saw, but he saw women empowered, but taken advantage of. But the thing of him slipping people Mickeys, that was something taught. He's seen it. He's seen his mother do it. He's seen his mother slip Mickeys into the John's drinks so they could rob him. See, because the dream I had, it was that, and I'm not going to go into it too much, but they were throwing things from the tree. Well, the dude kind of grabbed me, threw everything in. I didn't say too much, and then I was looking. And the way he was, and it was weird. It was just a whole bunch of things. But next thing I know, towards the end, I see the dude throwing things at people, and almost like a pimp or whatever the case is, up in a tree throwing baggage down, and then boom, turns around and grabs something and then tries to burn me with it. Then I turn around, burn the back, but then boom, I wake up. But anyways, that's another story, because that video, things are on video. When you have a generation of children, of young men and young women that are raised without a mother or a father figure, because let's just break it down and let's just be honest. Most of us come from broken homes. And as we grow, that's what we try not to let happen. But if we see certain things, then it's something that's taught and it's learned. Again, we got to understand New York and Harlem and all those things is fast, very fast paced. Where I grew up in Black Hills, it was fast paced too. Granville, it was a craziest side of town in GR. But you got to be a hustler. And that's what it's about. So when you are not raised, that's when I seen the picture of him. It shows, because again, somebody that's wearing earrings that looks like a young woman, that's what he looked like in the picture. You can tell already. Remember, we can tell already. A lot of cousins I seen, that my little cousins. One thing we have to understand, there's certain genes that's how a person is. Just like a person's sometimes born with both parts. I'm not going to get into that. I'm speaking on a certain person, Diddy. Because everybody has their opinion, but they're not breaking it down to how this is and why it became. Because his mother is just as guilty as everybody else. Let me explain something to you. The government is not stupid. They put RICO for a reason. And for everybody that not subscribed to my channel, the new subscribers, thank you. Hit your notification button so that you get notifications of my next videos. Because this is going to be a series of breaking down the narrative, but explaining certain things so that they can understand. Because watch this. I was just watching what a lot of stars have turned around and taken off and or across country or whatever the case is. A lot of people think if something's done out of the country that it's okay. No. You're talking about human beings, okay? A lot of people are scared. People can change. It doesn't matter, because when they said RICO, watch this. Let me explain the RICO crime. Why do you think the readings, Mary High Priest, she was picking a RICO for so many years? Because she was chanting a lot of the Diddy stuff. A lot of readers have been. That's why I say this tarot is not for regular people. You already have to be ascended. You already have to be tapped in. Yes, they can. There's certain things you can understand, but when I'm truly speaking of what I'm truly speaking about, I'm truly speaking about what is happening that needs justice, and what's, I say, the passed on loved ones that have been murdered, all those things, all those people that have been wrongfully taken, their lives have been taken because of greed, insurance. But I'm not going to go into that either. WASP might be significant, because whenever my guides are, if I listen to a reader, whatever the case is, I'll always bring something that is significant so that I get confirmation on certain things. So the information that I'm getting, 88 may be significant. You might have just gotten some brand new shoes. You might have been seeing owls, or you might need to get some glasses. You might have, $20 might be significant. You might be 40 years old. You might have too many remotes for your TV. A sewing machine. You might like to sew. Wasps are significant. You might have a wasp nest that you need to get rid of. You might have just had a birthday. You may have just got socks, or you may need socks, or you may need underwear. But I'm going to leave it at that. So if any of those resonate, then this message is for you. Your name may start with a G, it may start with an A, it may start with an I or an N. But one thing you need to understand is a lot of readers that are out here, they read for themselves. They're reading what's coming for them. So a lot of messages are not for everyone. And that's why you need to use your discernment when you're watching these readings for love, for see, I never knew about twin flame. I never knew about earth angels. I never knew about gifts. I never knew about a lot of things. But I didn't know about the Lord. I didn't know I was protected, because as a clairvoyant and as my soul tribe, see, I see certain things around readers, and it's very significant. I don't want to go off course right now, so I'm going to get back on track. Because a lot of times when I speak, I'll see things and I'll speak on it, but I'm thinking that you know what I'm speaking about, and you don't. So that's why I'm being very clear. Kim Kardashian is very significant to these messages as well. But let's go back to Diddy. Because when he seen his mother as a sex worker, and there's nothing wrong with that, okay? People have to survive, and they have to raise their family, the best way they can. So strippers, sex work, we're not talking about that. So that's not what we're talking about, okay? We're talking about love. We're talking about what a young man sees and a young lady sees, because it's easier for a man to get over something than it is for a woman, but yet it's still easier sometimes for a woman, depending on the circumstances, okay? All our feelings matter. But when you have a young man that was raised by his mother without a father, and pretty much seen women being abused and being taken advantage of, and women doing certain things, because again, women are gangsters. They tell us what we want to hear on the news. So make your own judgment. See, we're not here to pass judgment on somebody, because I'm going to explain it very clearly. Because Diddy thinks he's going to get away with something. The industry thinks they're going to get away with something. That's why it's called RICO. And let's speak about that real quick. See, RICO means anybody that was tied to anyone. Children, employees, anybody that had ties to anyone, because it's saying an organization. So yeah, Russell Simmons, Oprah, Bill Clinton, Trump, Jay-Z. Yeah. The bodyguards. We're hearing them speak, but watch this. Remember what I'm saying to you. They're going to have to answer. That's why it's called RICO. They're going to testify. They may be charged, because just because they're speaking about it, it doesn't matter. If you did not help somebody in that time of need, and it's found out you were there and you did nothing about it, you didn't report it, Gene, a lot of people did stand up, and a lot of people didn't see certain things, but they did. So they're going to be held accountable. That's why they put the RICO Act. You think that they didn't learn from previous, what's the one, Teflon Don, that they didn't learn from, what was his name? Who was the one that Giovanni, I'm sorry. Anyways, the mayor of New York that was prosecuting the mob and all that. But Gotti got away with so many things because, hey, when people give back to the communities love them. Even though if they're doing wrong, we don't see it like that. So that's why Diddy's loved the way he was. Now he's plain and simple. After you hear what I'm gonna say, and you listen with your mind and not your ears, not your heart, but with an open mind and understanding how somebody can be like this. That's why they wanted me to talk about love, but no. Because his children are going to go down. When I channel, when I see certain things and certain things come up, it starts to come through. The information comes so fast. So I had to do a lot of research, and I start to go back to timelines, and I start to see certain things. People are explaining what is going on. Yeah, drug money built the industry as far as the rap industry. How do you think they were able to get their company started? See, people are speaking on it because that industry, Harlem and all those things, if you burn somebody, hey, news travels fast. Remember that news it's a small industry, no matter what it is. But it's not right when the government is bringing the drugs in the very beginning. They just didn't expect the money that was made, just like prohibition. They didn't expect it, but they knew what they were doing by ruining communities. But when you love that money, you may be giving back to your communities, but all you're doing is thinking about yourself. Because if you truly loved yourself, you would not harm women the way they've been harmed. See, we're not talking about, we're not here to judge somebody. People say you're not supposed to sleep with men. Hey, then now you're judging. See, this is a difference between having an open mind and being blind to justice, to a situation. Because as soon as you start to say something, then you're judging that person. Why do you think it's hard for men to come out with what's happening? See, as smart as Diddy really thinks he is, oh boy, he's so stupid because those drugs he has taken. Well, look, nobody's perfectly off taking drugs. But what I'm saying is he's pretty much believe his own, that he's above God. Because if you go back, you're talking about Andre. You're talking about the ones before him, Island Records. You're talking about big wigs that are gonna be tied in. But anyway, we're not gonna speak on that because watch this one. You were watching the interview with, I know everybody's seen it, and if you haven't, the one with Justin Bieber. See, nobody really paid attention, but watch this one. Diddy promised him that Lamborghini, I think it was, or whatever it was, he promised that house when he turned 18. Did he give it to him? No, he did not. But he promised him something in order for him to understand. Watch this one. When you come in, why do you think, and I'm sorry to jump around again, why do you think Diddy had the children? He has LB Shore's sons. And I'm going to say that because they look alike. Why would you have LB's son short? Because watch this one. How do you think he gets the young girls in? Why do you think they use the baby oil? See, those boys are just as guilty as he is because he taught those children. They're all untalented. Watch this. Diddy didn't write no music. He had somebody else do it and he just put himself up there. Yeah, just like with you think he was creating that clothing line? No, he was doing it to bring the drugs. See, people are smart. People are smart. Yes, talent. I have an ear for music. Yeah. But does he write? No, he doesn't write. His son, Sean, or whatever his son, has no talent at all. He doesn't understand. Everything's going to be taken away once everything comes out, because if you listen to it, the candy. See, he made candy for the children. So when you're younger, you may not remember a lot of things. And that baby oil that has, so much, is so potent that when it's put on somebody, they're numb. So if they're knocked out by GHB or whatever, the tranquilizer, well, they're not going to wake up until tomorrow, especially if they're younger and they have nothing in their system and they're not used to it. Why do you think that video of Diddy, see, his own ego is bringing him down? He said in there, look at what we do to white people, white boys. And I think he said, lucky you're not dead. That one white boy that they were putting drinks on his head, he was passed out at that party. He said, look what we do to white people, white boys. And he said, you're lucky you're not dead to somebody else. I think he said something like that. Anyways, don't quote me on that. The dude's passed out because, and there's other white people around, white boys, but he's doing it to prove a point. The dude's cold knocked out. Who's cold knocked out in the middle of the day. Everybody seems like they're having fun, but because of what he's putting in these bottles. Why do you think I was channeling the way I was channeling about the bartenders? Because it has to be, it's an organization. See, but Diddy started off small. He started off with college girls, you know, no telling how far it goes back, but him and Andre Harrell, those lawsuits, that everything was settled. Nothing really was brought out, and then if it's settled and nothing's really charged, well, here we go. Think about the lady that was shot, Shine, when Shine went to prison for him. Him and J-Lo, they're in that club. Well, think about the lady that got shot. She was a insurance policy holder. I think she had an insurance business. Maybe he meant to take her out. Anyways, I'm not going to speculate on anything because there's more research that has to be done. But everything happens for a reason. People shouldn't be here. Again, I shouldn't be here. But I'm here because the Lord has me here for a reason. Because it's 31:16. I'm going to